Before we start today's video, here's an important announcement. I'm giving away 50 plus free SOPs drafted by students studying at some of the best universities across the world. All you have to do is go to the pinned comments or description box to download them for free. So go check it out.
All in all, the difference in tuition fee is around, I think, minimum to minimum like 50 lakh or something, like including the cost of living as well.
What?
Just spend some time with your family because the next time you don't know when you're gonna meet them.
Most people prefer America for a program such as business analytics. But what if I told you that there are other options in Europe that could save you at least 50 lakh rupees? I'm just as curious as you are. Ayush, a master's in data science and business analytics student at ESSEC Business School, joins us from Paris to discuss why he chose France over America and what his experience has been so far. Let's jump straight into the conversation.
So, can you introduce yourself maybe a little bit for the audience? What did you do in your undergrad? Where are you from? And how was your experience in India while you were doing your undergrad? And how is it now?
So basically, I did my bachelor's from Delhi Technological University in mechanical and automotive engineering, and after that, I worked for like 9 months in KPMG in IT audit as an analyst, and then I moved to France to pursue my master's in data science and business analytics at which is jointly offered by ESSEC and Central Suplec.
Okay, great. So moving on, so which all universities did you apply to in US and France for this course?
So I applied to around 8 universities in US, and this was the only university in Europe.
Okay.
So out of the 8 universities, they included UT Austin. So I applied to 2 programs in UT Austin, Masters in Business Analytics and Masters in Marketing. Then I applied to Masters in Quantitative Management, MQM program offered by Duke University.
Right.
Then another Masters in Business Analytics in UT Dallas, Masters in Analytics in Georgia Tech, and Masters in Business Analytics in University of Southern California as well.
Okay.
And maybe I'm missing out on one or two, but
correct. So moving on, so why did you choose France over United States? And maybe if you can give me top 3 reasons why you made that decision.
Yeah, so basically, it was a really tough decision because I was basically mainly weighing my decision whether to go to Duke or come to ESSEC, because US is US, so everybody has that thing of American dream, and you earn a lot. So the first reason would be the tuition fee, and over here it's like 12,500 euros for my first year and like 24,500 euros for my second year.
Right.
So all in all, around like 37,000 euros, and over there it was $70,000. So
So cost difference is one aspect. What other parameters made you decide France?
Second, it depends from person to person, but most of the people who go to US have a really strong family background or have a strong connection in US. Like some of the relatives are living in US or something, and for me, I didn't have any relatives or even really strong friends or someone who were there in US beforehand, who you can depend upon in case of any emergency or something or some sort of like that. And since it was not present in both the places, so the bias was equal in choosing France or US.
Okay.
And I think the third one was the duration of Europe from India, because ultimately I was talking to my dad, and he told me you have to also look as a perspective from the family. When you must have also heard people go to US and you can't even call them because it's a difference of day and night. And over here, just before this call I was talking to my mom, because it's like a 3.5 hour of lag between the time zone. Plus it's not really steep as compared to US to even travel to Paris. Like my mom came here and went back, and both of her flights round trip was around like 50,000.
Right.
So it
Cost
is
and
some
time.
it is some amount, but when you compare it with US, it's like
I think maybe a valid point would be the time difference. So you're in the time zone. You can talk to them, communicate with them as compared to the States, right?
Exactly.
Right. So what was the difference in tuition fee between both countries, and do you think France is cheaper? I think you did give us a brief understanding of it. Can you maybe detail it a bit for us?
Yeah. So basically, there are a lot of things that lot of benefits that are provided in Europe, but I'll like specify it to France because every country in Europe has a different kind of benefit. For example, Germany has like free tuition fee. So France has basically you get scholarships. I didn't get one, but there's a Sharpak scholarship, there's an Eiffel scholarship. So all in all, the difference in tuition fee is around I think minimum like 50 lakh or something, like including the cost of living as well. So you have to consider that.
You're saying France is cheaper than the United States by at least 50 lakhs for your program.
Yeah, at least. And like I would consider my program to be expensive just because of one reason, that ESSEC is a business school and business schools usually charge higher than an engineering college. So if someone is trying to go into some engineering or tech field, for example, one of my friend is going to Ecole Polytechnique, IP Paris, for his masters in applied math. So his tuition fee is like 6 lakh per year, 6 lakh rupees.
So how much was your tuition fee? Let's say how much is your tuition fee in ESSEC as compared to, let's say, you were even considering going to Duke, right? So can you give us some figure on the two?
Okay, so Duke tuition fee was like $70,000. For 10 months.
Right.
My tuition fee is like 36,000 euros for 2 years. Right. So if you want to compare it, then like let's say you're not considering the duration of the course, so it's like, and consider dollar and euros are the same. So approximately like a difference of $34,000.
Right, $34,000, a little bit more. I mean, US would definitely be costlier in terms of living expenses as well. Right. So maybe roughly about 50 lakhs is what you said, right? Easily.
Yeah, because there are a lot of things that are also there in US. For example, you have to buy a health insurance.
That's true.
Your health insurance is free in France.
Okay.
So, and plus you have to buy books. Buying books and textbooks is compulsory. So that is an additional cost. Over here, you don't necessarily require books. You can just download any PDF resource and just study from it.
Great.
So there are small costs that are involved in everything, and it piles up to be a greater cost.
That's true. So like, and do you face any sort of language barrier in France?
Yeah, I would say the language barrier, I mean, it does exist because you don't know French. I mean, if you do, it's wonderful. But all in all, like it really depends. Like if you, I mean, of course they prefer to speak in their native language, but it depends in which locality you are. So if you are in the central city, you are in Paris and you are in the capital, people will talk to you in English. If you talk to them in English, they'll talk to you in English because it's a tourist friendly place.
Right.
So of course they know English. But if you go around, like go away from the center, you go to some suburban area and you start talking in English to someone who's selling some vegetables or someone who is not that educated.
Yeah.
I mean, not even on the basis of education, but I'm just saying, English is not taught to them in their primary school.
Right.
Just like you and I, if we learned German in 10th or 8th, and I expect you to be fully proficient in German, and you'll say that you don't even remember it right now, right?
That's true.
So that's the same thing. They learn it in 8th or 10th, or maybe I don't know what's the exact time, but definitely not like us Indians who learn it from the beginning along with Hindi. So that is the reason that they are a little less proficient in English, and they if they want to go like for some of like outside France, they have to learn.
It is manageable, right? I mean, even if you're planning to study in one of the B schools in France, it's manageable, right? You can communicate with them.
It is manageable, but I would highly suggest to learn French. Not because to get a job. It's just because, if you are at a metro station and you want to exit the metro station and you don't know what does the exit sign mean, in English. So at least some basic French is necessary to survive. And I think if you don't learn French and you just stay here to be like I'll survive with English only, and then be ignorant about the place and then start bickering about French people that they don't speak English, I don't know why they don't speak English. So I think that's just an ignorant part that a lot of people actually who just come as a tourist here in France and go back to India, they tell that French people are rude. But that is not the case. It's just like going to a vegetable vendor in India and talking to him in English.
Right.
How would that guy respond, right? That, I don't have time for you. Just leave or, just buy my stuff. So that's the kind of comparison.
Yeah. So, and do you like the program? Like you've already completed a year, right, in ESSEC, and are you enjoying the program? And how does your day-to-day, classes or whatever your schedule look like? How do you compare it to, let's say, your undergrad in India? So, 3-part question. Can you maybe give us some
So, my daily schedule was like so they have this concept of, we had a concept of 3 tri-semesters. So 3 tri-semesters of 3 months each. So in the first semester we had courses in Central Suplec, which is an engineering college, one of the best engineering colleges in France, and we were mainly taught subjects related to math because data science is math heavy. And we had like 2 classes per day, and each class was like 3 hours long. So it was like that, and we had some break in between as well. We had a break in December, and then I came to ESSEC. It was kind of the same thing. Subjects were different, more business oriented, strategy management, finance, marketing, etc. And then in T3 we were also in ESSEC. So it was a mix of both engineering and business subjects. So it was kind of cool because I got a bit bored in the engineering part because I'm an engineer, so I knew the stuff. But like, for example, for me, finance was
completely
new thing because I didn't take commerce just because so that I don't want to draw that accounting table of assets and liabilities. But here I am doing the same stuff.
Did you enjoy it?
I don't know, man. Not really. I'm still struggling to just identify what is an asset and liability. Sometimes some things changes, but it was interesting. I would say because I got to know some things that I didn't knew about at all.
That's
so
cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you get any sort of career support at your university? And do you think you have the resources to find jobs in France?
Yeah, definitely. I think just like booking a consulting, interview or something, you can book slots with the career advisors and they will guide you online. You can pitch in their problem. Like, for example, I had one related to my resume because I felt like my resume was not up to the mark. Then he gave me some advice, the academic director. I followed it and it worked out. And there are different advisors for different things. So for resume it's different, for LinkedIn profile it's different. So ESSEC helps me in that part, and apart from that we have our own separate job teaser portal for each university. So since my degree is related to 2 colleges, I have the benefit of using a job teaser platform for 2 universities. So you just go to that portal and there are companies that are exclusive. There's a button like exclusive to your college. So if you toggle on that button, you will filter out the companies who have exclusively posted on your portal only. So at least you are not competing with the rest of the world. You're just competing
within the distribution.
Within the university. Yeah, exactly.
Right. That's great. And just to end the conversation, do you have any tips you'd like to share with incoming students or people who are planning to study in France, right?
Just learn French.
Right.
Not much, because the thing is, like, it's a really tedious process to get the student visa, find accommodation, and do a lot
Right.
of stuff. And people, I also had the same thing that, I started talking to my friends like, hey, should I study something before going there? And then ultimately one of my friends said that, you are doing a degree to learn that
Right.
thing eventually, so why would you want to learn it beforehand going
Right.
into the degree and get bored in the degree?
Okay.
So I think that was a valid point. I would say just like eat a lot of Indian food and come. And be prepared for winters if you are like, if you can't, you are not a winter person, especially I find a lot of people from Mumbai,
Okay.
who are not really resistant to winters.
Okay.
The winters are really cold. Even people who in Delhi think that winters are cold, it's really cold. It's really windy. It's really cold. So be prepared for winters.
How about getting used to the tiny apartments in France?
I think
Is it a hassle?
no, actually,
No?
I think it's pretty chill actually. Yeah, because I think they have this kind of architecture which is very minimalist. So
Okay.
once you enter your room, you just have a table, a bed, a kitchen, and
Right.
like in Indian household, everybody has a habit of cluttering.
Right.
They put in like 10 things in one room, and there's a sofa and there's a curtain, and there are 10 things. So over here I found it really nice, and
Okay.
so I didn't really try to clutter myself. I kept it like that only, like an empty table, empty kitchen, empty fridge. So I just kept it like that. I didn't want to clutter it, and I think it's pretty peaceful, man, as compared. Like the noise pollution levels are also pretty chill.
France is growing in popularity and appears to be an attractive option. If you too want to study at a French university just like Ayush, we have a video about that as well, which you can find in the description box below.